This is Q&A with me, Volume 9, the first Q&A to go up on my channel publicly and not unlisted. The older episodes used to go up on my blog, and they are listed in a playlist on this channel under the name Q&A with Fred, of course. And this is something I try to do once a week, Monday, Tuesday about. And it's simply me answering a few questions. Some answers will be funny and some answers will be sensible or insightful, whatever the question happened to be. And you can really send me any type of questions at all. There is information about how you could do that in the description. So, without further ado, let's get it on. Anonymous asked, "What noise do spiders make?" Spiders don't make noise because spiders don't have a need to communicate. And the reason why humans communicate is because we live in groups of more than one. So we have a need to relay information between each other. Spiders don't have this need. Spiders are very lonely creatures. They live by themselves, they eat by themselves, and they probably have sex with other people, but other spiders. But some spiders might try and have sex with people, I don't know. But spiders don't have a need to communicate because they don't socialize, like some humans, like me in fact. And probably you. That's why you're listening to this, because you are lonely. Yes. An army of Terminator pineapples asks, "Do you like pineapples?" I don't like pineapples, actually. I don't like the taste of pineapples. And I don't understand the name pineapples. Pineapples are not apples, and they do not grow from pines. Now, what the fuck is that about? How can you name a fruit pineapple if it has nothing to do with either pines or apples? That makes me angry. So, as a result of that anger, I refuse to eat any pineapples. I suppose pineapples do have their place. Sometimes for example, pineapples on a pizza, is quite good. It tastes good, and it is not something I would deny immediately anyway. I mean, it's not my favorite type of pizza, but I understand why some people like it, and I occasionally like it as well. There's also a few things that you can do with pineapples that are tasty, that you can make some sort of delicious drink from it. But in general, I don't like the idea of pineapples. I don't think that the world is made a better place thanks to the pineapples. If anything, it just causes more confusion and anger amongst people like me who takes words very seriously. Lazy Lover of Tea 43 asks, "Why can't tea just make itself?" Maybe it can. Maybe we haven't seen it, but I don't. I suppose it can't. I mean, it's a human skill making tea. There isn't a single animal out there in the world who can make tea, so we should quite appreciate our skills to make tea. In fact, you should probably make a spectacle of it. Any time you make a cup of tea, you should be happy that you are doing something that only you as a human can do. I mean, you can't train your dog to make a cup of tea for you, and if the dog were to make a cup of tea for you, he probably wouldn't get the right amount of sugar in it. He probably wouldn't understand how much milk you want. The dog would not be able to help you. So don't try and train your dog. You could get a butler or a servant, but you're likely not to be able to afford that. And I'm sorry, but you just have to make your tea for yourself. And isn't that part of the thing? Isn't that part of the pleasure of drinking tea? Knowing that you have done a complicated action. You have made tea from water and a bit of herbs and a bit of milk and a bit of sugar, or honey if you prefer honey. Honey is a lot more sexier, so you might prefer honey. I do feel like a cup of tea, actually. I think I'm gonna go with a cup of vanilla tea. Alan asks, how would you pronounce the name Alan, which incidentally also happens to be mine? Constant Reader asks, if you think about it, we're all just corpses waiting to happen. Well, we are humans before we become corpses, so we are not just corpses waiting to happen. We are humans waiting to become corpses. And the corpses are eventually going to be nothing. So you can't, it's not that simple. And of course the things that ends up eating us, for example the bacteria inside of us, probably can't wait. And I'm not sure we're ever going to die. The people who are alive today probably will live forever because science is going to make it so. Go science! Or we might become heads in jars, like in Futurama. That's quite a good thing actually, because it means that people who are good at talking and people who have nice faces will become very popular, whereas people who are now popular due to their bodies will not. You know, you have someone like Hussein, is it Hussein Bolt, who has a fantastic body. I'm not quite sure what he does. Is he a runner? I'm not sure. I don't care about sports, but he has an amazing body. He has an amazing skill. I've been told. So, but if he was head in a jar, he would not be able to show people his amazing skill for running, I suppose. And there are many people who make a living out of their bodies, for example, porn stars, who would not be able to do well as heads in jars. So the real question is, are we all just corpses waiting to happen, or are we just heads in jars waiting to happen? I can't tell you that. Lonely Student 19 asks, I was eating dinner while watching your Q&A. I had white rice and some canned corn. That is great that you're able to eat dinner while listening to me. Indeed, I think it's great that people eat food. And I think that's good for all. I personally would not go with the combination of white rice and canned corn. It doesn't seem very good to me. What you could do if you want a simple meal involving corn is that you could boil some pasta. After that has been boiled, you put it aside, and then you pour some cream into the pan, and then you put the corn in. You fry the corn with the cream, and then you can create a very simple sauce. Then you put in the pasta and sort of mix it around, and what you get is a very lovely dinner that tastes like corn and has the pasta as a base, and also has a creamy edge to it. So do that instead of rice. And that's it for today with the questions. I'll speak to you. I lecture for you next week, probably Monday or Tuesday. We'll see. And I hope you enjoy it. I mean, I hope I get some people watching this on my channel here now. And otherwise, I'll just have to crawl back to the hole I came from. But I think that some people might like it. It's not very pretentious, admittedly. It's not that complicated, but I think that it might be interesting to some. I hope you will listen to this now, by the way, because the new World of Warcraft expansion came out today, so people might be playing that instead. I used to play World of Warcraft for a very long time, and I've decided to stop playing WoW, and this is the first expansion that I'm not playing. It feels very strange. I mean, the reason why people tend to stick around with WoW, even though it is a awful old game now, is the fact that you really do get attached to the world, and you do get attached to your character. As pathetic as it might seem, your character is something. It's like a pet. You know, it is a thing that you have spent real amounts of hours, and more than hours, days into. And it just feels odd leaving all that work behind. And so it is a bit of an odd day for me, because it is the first day I feel um, as if I'm not a WoW player, because I've been a WoW player for so long. It's a very strange feeling, indeed it is. Anyway, this has been Fred, and this remains to be Fred. Maybe in the future I might change it to Hector or Boris or Magnus or even Tiffany. I don't know. But so long, for now, it is Fred. And I'll talk to you, I'll read you later.